You're watching the Batter Fans Network.
The heroes are back. Beards talking balls, rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Batter Fan, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordy, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just vibe. Free 99, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 443 of the Battle Herons podcast. I am your host, David, alongside me, as always, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
It's absolutely diabolical that Andy Crims is in here telling us we can't get past round one. We made it to the dance, buddy. What are you doing?
Well, I mean, look. Andy, you couldn't make it to round one, but you know, I'm not. We're not here to talk about Orlando. We're not here to talk about Orlando. We are here to talk. And real quick, Basketball Jersey on Soccer podcast. Real quick, Mr. Krabs. Today is. I know yesterday technically was the first day, but today was the real first day of the NBA season. We are big time NBA fans, so we came in, and I love that energy.
Yes.
But yes, we're big NBA fans. So yes, opening day or opening night. So we're rocking our NBA jerseys. Chris, 2 games in 6 days. Are you excited about Friday? Because I've heard some people say it's a little overkill. They don't like the way this kind of ended up, where we're playing Nashville possibly 4 weeks in a row.
Danny, as a person that is like, we go to games and stuff, it sucks to go to a Friday game. Why there's no games on Saturday is beyond me. I understand you want to compete, that you don't want to compete against college football, but like, if you want to take yourself seriously and you're showcasing big names to try to attract attention, I think putting the LA and the Miami game would have been perfect for Saturday. And 2 games in 6 days, I feel like, is really stupid.
Yeah. Before we get to our guest, I'm not a fan of the first round format. I don't like that it's 2 out of 3. I think it should be look, let me be very clear. I think it's really cool that if your team made it to the playoffs, you get a playoff home game. I'd rather it be just one game knockout all the way through. But if you want to say, okay, we're going to give everybody at least one home game, cool. I think that's a cool thing to do so that everybody gets that experience. Make it a 2-game aggregate, home and away. Why they threw that 3rd game in there and all of a sudden the scores don't matter, that's where they threw me off. But if you want to say, like, hey, everybody should go ahead and enjoy their team. You supported them all year long. They made it to the playoffs. Go ahead, enjoy at least one home game. But the fact that they made it that 3rd game, I think, is really overkill. And I think it really kills the first round and then the just playoff format, because then you get that long break. And whatever. But we are here to talk and preview Inter Miami, Nashville. We have Valair joining us. Let me see where you are. There you are, sir. What's going on, Valair? How are you doing, sir?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. And I couldn't agree more on your thoughts on the playoffs format. I on our show earlier this week, I went off and I had a tangent about it. So yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. And actually, I'll say it should be single elimination. If your team, if
the way through, yes.
If any team didn't earn enough points to be top 4, then they shouldn't play at home. It's a privilege to play at home. That's.
Yes.
But hey, nobody's paying me to make these decisions.
I'm sure if they were, you'd do a better job. But that's a discussion for another day.
Yes.
Some people are asking, where's the other guy? Uncle Matt actually was on the MLS show. So if you want to check out, they technically talked to Miami, Nashville on the MLS show also. But Valair from the 615 podcast joins us today. Now, Valair, 6 days between both matches. after that game, Nashville had a great season. I predicted we do an MLS show. We do battered MLS fans, and we talk all general MLS all season long. And I said, towards the beginning of the year, I think Nashville is going to look better, but I thought their year is next year. I thought that's when you guys surprised the hell out of me this year.
Yeah.
And I think that your fan base also felt optimistic. Did that optimism go out the window after last Saturday's game, knowing that you played Miami after that 5-2 loss?
It's weird because Nashville got the trophy, right? So it's like the season is not over. And yes, the U.S. Open Cup isn't the MLS Cup, and I think everybody knows that. But it was such a big deal to get that trophy for Nashville soccer, for Nashville as a city, for Tennessee as a state. It was actually a pretty big deal. And I think once that happened, it was kind of like this big release, this big excitement for everybody. And then coming into, now you get to play Montreal. I think it was like 3 days later in Montreal. I think like an average of maybe 5 people watched that game. I was one of them because I covered the team. I have no other choice. Like it's, I have to watch the team. And then it was the Miami game, which honestly, that first half, the fans in Nashville, they were having a great time, I think.
I bet.
But it kind of went off the rails. I do think the optimism went down. I think if it was any other series, Nashville will probably have a better chance to start with, and second of all, the fans would be more excited. I do think the sort of Miami Nashville thing in the last 2 years has just happened so many times across so many different competitions. I mean, we're talking about 4 different competitions. And if you count all the way from 2020, 5 different competitions that these teams have played against each other. So it's just one of those things where the excitement's lower because the team lost, obviously 5-2, but also because this series is just not it's not a good reward for finishing up a good season, like you were saying.
I agree. And then the fact that we played each other the last game of the season, I think is what really killed the momentum for you guys. And Chris, I know you're about to ask something, but just real quick, Valair, since 2023, because I know we started the show and Chris started the show poo-pooing all over Orlando, but in 2023, we kind of started saying, if we were going to really say who is our rival, we feel like in the entirety, I think it's Nashville. We came in together, first playoff game against each other, first final against each other in the Leagues Cup. That was the first final for both of us. We're not playing in the playoffs. It feels like we just we played in the Champions Cup already. It feels like we just constantly run into each other. If I had to say we had to choose one rival, I think it's Nashville. What would you say?
Yeah. I think one thing that kind of throws this whole idea out of the water is just because Messi happened. And it's a good thing that Messi happened. I'm not, that's not a bad thing. It's just the fact that because that change, it's like the biggest deal in MLS history, right? And then everything kind of goes away. All the rivalries, all the talk, all the sort of other in-league stuff. I mean, even the Orlando rivalry with Miami, I don't yes, it's important, especially for fans and everybody else involved, but it just hasn't had that sort of feel because you wouldn't compare it to a Seattle Portland or an LA, right? Because it's new and there's this whole new element of Messi dropped in there. And I agree with you. I think a lot of Nashville fans, I don't know what they would say now because again, Messi and his friends came in and kind of that's the headline now. There's no other headline really. But in 2020, that was actually the reason why Nashville fans really, I guess, hated Miami. It's because Nashville came into the league with Miami, and Miami got all the headlines. They signed Higuain, signed Matuidi, all that stuff. And Nashville got nothing, and then Nashville completely destroyed Miami in the playoffs 3-0, and also during the regular season. And then the following season, I think they beat them in Miami 5-1 or 5-2, something crazy like that. So there were moments that kind of built this up, and then obviously then you talk about Leagues Cup final and all that. So yeah, I think for Nashville, it has way more history with Miami than it has with Atlanta, who people sometimes think it's a rivalry because it's so close to each other.
The proximity,
close, but close enough, right?
Yeah.
But it's really, there's nothing on the pitch that says it's a rivalry. like the only reason Atlanta is a
Yeah.
rivalry for Nashville is because it's close in proximity. But yeah, Miami would be a better one, and I would say like even NYCFC, which is a weird one. But like every time these two teams play each other, something happened. So I'd put Miami and NYCFC on the pitch as a bigger rival than Atlanta even.
For us, I think it's Nashville and Atlanta.
Well, I mean, yes, and for us, I mean, it's also obviously that people are just by proximity picking Orlando, but like there's a reason Xavier said, "Where's the other guy?" I mean, Uncle Matt has been on this program more. I mean, he's basically like a third co-host at this point, like with the amount of times that we've played in Nashville and seen you guys, not just for standard games, but for like big games. Like last game of the season was a pretty big game. And I think that the score itself, 5-2, doesn't really show or define how the game was. Like you guys were in control for the first half because our coach decided to play crappy defensive players. Like it is still scary to be able to see Danny. Like there's going to be good players up top for Nashville. I mean, what do you think, Valair? I mean, is your fan base like anticipating a slobber knocker, or is it's just something like, okay, we won Open Cup and that's it?
I think the fans, I would say everybody in Nashville is hoping for something, but deep down, I feel like everybody knows nothing's coming out of this. I find it really hard to get behind the idea that this team can beat Miami. Again, if it was a one-off game, even if it was in Miami, I would give Nashville a better chance than this 3-game series, because having to do it over and over again, it's kind of difficult, right? And I think there's something that's going to be sticking with Miami, whether it's Messi or the rest of the players who were there last year, because I think that loss to Atlanta last year really, look, there are people saying Messi doesn't care, all that, blah, blah, blah. I see it week in, week out. He really cares.
He cares, yeah.
Because you see the goals he scores, and nobody who doesn't care scores that many goals and does all the stuff he does. So I think there's an element of Miami kind of establishing themselves as a playoff team, which hasn't happened yet. And I think Messi's going to be up to par. Now, where I would say Nashville has not the upper hand by any means, but has an opportunity is an attack. So for Nashville, you're looking at a team that has Sam Surge and Hani Mukhtar up top, who have been on incredible goal scoring form, who have been playing against all sorts of teams in the East and destroying them, right? So then when you look at Miami, their defense is definitely not their strongest point, right? When you look at 55 goals, I think, allowed on the season, that's like fifth worst, I think, in the Eastern Conference. I mean, Nashville, they're going to be looking at that. Sam Surridge, Hani Mukhtar are going to be looking at that. And I think that's the only way to play this game. I don't think there's a way for Nashville to come into Miami or even at home and say, we're going to sit. It's going to be fine. We're going to sit back and defend. Because that never works against Messi. It just doesn't work. And I think the only way that this would be the only way Nashville would have a chance is, I think, if this is a shootout of some sort and Nashville comes out on top or goes to penalties. That's the way I see it.
Nashville had its opportunities in the first half, and you have to capitalize on those opportunities. If they scored the two chances, I think one was Mukhtar and I think the other might have been Surge. I don't remember, but it was like two
would have been
clear chances. Different. That game would have been different, in my opinion.
Yeah,
you have to capitalize.
Mukhtar had one of the worst misses of his career, probably.
Over the crossbar.
And then you had Alex Muyl with a header too, really, really early on, like the first shot of the game too. So like we were saying, like in the press box and also like talking to fans and other people, they were saying like Nashville could have been 4-1 up that first half, and like that's not an exaggeration. Like Nashville could have been 4-1 up just based on the chances they had. But that's the thing, right? I mean, they didn't take it, and it took Messi a quarter of a chance, and he did what he did, and he took the lead.
And that goal in the first half was almost identical. I haven't seen, and I have to look at the replay, almost identical to the League's Cup game, because he got in the middle of the pitch, worked his way to the left, and then shot it from outside the box. It was a thing of beauty.
You know what's crazy about that League's Cup goal? If you go back and look at it, Walker Zimmerman is in front of him and actually gets a touch on the ball.
On the ball, yeah.
Like he touches the ball, which should be
Yeah.
like a clean tackle that you win the ball, but not against Messi because he gets it and shoots it again. It's actually incredible, like how he did that. So
I remember Walker Zimmerman talking about that afterwards. He's like, I got to touch on the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter.
Not when it's Messi, no. We got a super chat here. We're going to have to win in spite of Nashville SC, a.k.a. Mascherano. Valair, if you weren't aware, nobody here likes Mascherano. We think he's doing a very poor job, and we think that we're winning in spite of him. So, I mean, I'm one of the few that misses Tata. I know a lot of people don't like Tata. I miss Tata.
Tata is a legend, man. So I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, no, I wish he wouldn't have left, but everybody wanted him out for.
He might be back in Atlanta before you know it.
That I'm hearing rumblings. That might be happening. So we'll see. So last week, again, first half, you guys were very aggressive, and we kind of absorbed the pressure. In second half, we kind of came out more aggressive, more direct passing, vertical passing. What do you think Nashville's going to come out and try this week? Do you think it's going to be similar game plan to what we saw in the first half, where they were just on it, or are they going to try to sit back and defend a little more than what they usually do?
Yeah, I don't think there's much of a change there. I think for Nashville, they've been doing this almost every single game in 2025. They had a couple games I remember, like away to Philly, and then maybe one more away match where they played a little more conservatively and stayed back. I don't see that happening. I do think there's going to be a huge difference just simply because of them not being home. So maybe they won't be pressing as high. They were pressing as high as I've ever seen them.
Yeah.
Against
Miami. Very aggressive.
Yeah, and it was a lot of risk taking there. I don't think it's going to be quite like that. I don't think it's going to be quite to that level. However, I don't think there's any sitting back. I don't think there's going to be any sort of parking the bus or anything like that. That's not something BJ Allen has ever done really since he took over Nashville. He's been very consistent about the way he's playing and the way he does, against whoever. So there's a very clear identity to this Nashville SC side now that it almost doesn't matter who they're playing against. Obviously, it's a little different playing in Miami against Miami, but I think it's going to be the same, pretty much what we saw in the first half, but maybe just the pressing is going to be a little bit maybe mid-block rather than the sort of high block we saw in the game last week.
Are Nashville fans satisfied with the season because you got the trophy already?
I mean, I think any Nashville fan, if you ask them and they tell you they're not satisfied with this season, they are I don't know what they're watching, because this is the greatest season in Nashville SC history, and it's not even up for debate. They won a trophy, the team is in the playoffs, and they're playing the best soccer they've ever played. It's a simple.
So no matter how the series ends up, it's a successful season.
Nashville can lose 5-0 and then come back home and lose 5-0, and this will be the greatest season in Nashville history.
Oh, then you got house money, then nothing to lose, and that's a dangerous team.
Exactly. And I think that's gonna be. I think that's gonna be. That's how the fans are feeling, and that's how a lot of people outside the club are feeling.
The team shouldn't feel that way. Yeah, no, they should.
Right, like BJ Callahan isn't sitting there like, guys, we'll have fun there. Like he's getting them going, and I think for me, like winning a trophy, the first trophy again in state history, pretty much.
That's such a crazy stat. When I heard that, like literally the first one in the state.
Yeah. In pro sports, I mean, top division. We have the Titans who,
is there going to be a parade?
Andre Dyson reaching out for the touchdown in the 99 Super Bowl was close.
1 yard exactly. Yes. I think
is
the Grizzlies haven't been great.
Predators either
historically. That they've had a couple of good seasons here and there. Still have the Titans, and the Nashville Predators are the other ones. Yeah. And the Predators came really close. They went to the Stanley Cup final. And lost. So I mean, when those are the teams, you're kind of limited, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But when you look at a state like Florida or specifically Miami, you get all the sports and all the things, and so it's a little harder thing to achieve in Tennessee than it is in Florida.
Well, I've heard that you guys are trying to get a baseball team, so we'll see.
Hey, they keep telling me about it, and they keep like talking about how they're gonna build this stadium in like the parking lot of another stadium, and it makes no sense whatsoever.
The Titan Stadium, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the plan absolutely doesn't like. I don't know what sort of stadium you're gonna build. I mean, there's barely room to build one field, let alone a stadium. So yeah, we'll see it. I mean, they have been talking about it for like 10 years. My plan would be like to put it in the suburbs or something, but I don't know.
Like
I don't like baseball,
Stadium.
so that's probably on me more than anything.
No, I love baseball. Go ahead, Chris. Oh wait, did Chris freeze on us?
I mean, I'd ask a question, but like I feel like I'm freezing all over the place.
Okay. All right. So Valair, let's say you are hypothetically you are a degenerate gambler, and you decide I'm going to. It's legal in Tennessee.
It is now. Yeah, the past 4 or 5 years, maybe. Yeah. It's been a minute.
All right. So you are a degenerate gambler, and you decide I'm going to put the house on Miami, the dog, the cat, everything on Miami. We're all in. And then Friday comes around, and you start feeling a little nervous. Oh, maybe that was a bad idea. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But that's it. No takebacks. So you find your way to Miami. You find your way to Chase Stadium. You go ahead. You see Mascherano because for some reason you have access to him. Maybe they think you're Yassine, Messi's bodyguard. I don't know. And then you walk up to him and you whisper in his ear, "This is how you beat Nashville." What are you telling him?
I think the first thing I tell him is to try to maybe keep Busquets as center back at some point. I don't know. I think that worked really well. I don't know. Like I think it was good. But the other thing, the other thing I would say is to not how do I say that? To get in the head of a couple of the players that Nashville SC has. And I think the first one I would say is if Eddie Taxhead is playing, Mascherano, Busquets, Jordi Alba, Lionel Messi, these guys have mastered some arts, some dark arts. Yeah. Okay. They're not foreign to it. They know how to do it. And I don't think Nashville is known as like the nice team. I think for the most part, they're kind of just like all there trying to win it the right way. There's one guy, Eddie Taxhead, who tries to get under the opponent's skins all the time. And sometimes that backfired. I saw it backfired a couple times and he came really close to a red card. And I think this game is more about mental gymnastics than it is about anything else. Like I think mentally you have to go into the game telling your players that you are better than Nashville. That's the only like you cannot just talk about on the pitch stuff and what happens and all that, because that to me, like I don't know how it feels to watch Miami every week and all that. Like I don't know how that feels, but to me, no matter what team is coming against Miami, whether it's in MLS or outside of MLS, Miami has to go in thinking they are the better side and they deserve to win this game. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing. And
well, yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off. I think that they do go into games that way, and I think that that's when they lose, why they get so frustrated. Like that Seattle game and the Leagues Cup final, I think they went in there and they thought, we're going to kick everybody's ass because we are these people. So when they lose, I feel like that's why you get those reactions out of them, because they're like, we shouldn't be losing to these teams.
The other thing is defensive stability, man. I mean, you've talked about it. That we talked about it already. I mean, I would say like if you're looking for on the pitch advice to Mascherano, and I'm telling him how to beat Nashville, it's shutting down Hani Mukhtar. It's Sam Surridge is a great player, but Sam Surridge relies on delivery.
Service.
Sam Surridge rarely ever creates his own chances, and that's not a bad thing. He's a number 9. He gets in the box. He scores his goals. Sometimes he's on the left side. If you see him on the left and he curls it to the right, it's a classic finish for him. But if you stop Hani Mukhtar, which isn't an easy thing, most teams can't do it. If you limit Hani Mukhtar, I would say, you are already going to stop a lot of what Nashville does in attack. And defensively, I don't think Miami has much to worry about. Nashville is a pretty good defensive team, I would say, but they just scored 5 on them. like literally last week. So I just don't think you can.
Amazing.
You're fine of going forward. I think literally the only way Nashville can beat Miami is through defensive cracks in Miami. That's the only way.
Well, it was crazy to me that Nashville, with 17 home games, so 16 home games before that Miami game, had only given up 12 goals at home all season long.
Yeah.
And then you give up almost half of that in one game. It's wild.
Yeah. And by the way, I've never heard honey mustard before. That's pretty funny, actually.
Oh, yeah. We've been calling them that since 2023.
Yes.
So over here, we call Messi the Argentinian Mukhtar. So that's been
Well, you guys have the Canadian Messi in Schaffelberg.
yes.
That's what we call him, the Canadian Messi.
He only shows up against not only. No, that's not unfair. He shows up in a lot of games. In few like his form would be like on and off, and then Miami will come and he'll just he scored 2 goals in the Champions Cup. One of them was a golazo, like beautiful banger. And then he scored on Saturday.
Yeah. No, he's a Canadian Messi. That's how we know him down here. And then you guys don't have what's the guy that we used to dislike, Chris, that tried to injure Messi?
Lucas McNaughton.
Oh, McNaughton. There
yeah, that guy. Where all the Nashville fans started
Yeah.
blasting his picture everywhere.
I know his picture was everywhere.
Hey,
for
he
a
got
week.
death threats, man. That was messed up. That was all you guys. Yeah, that was you.
What?
Not well. This
Yeah,
guy
he got-
maybe.
What?
Yeah, he was getting like death threats, man. It was wild. Like,
Well,
and if
let
look
me
at
tell you
it, like,
something.
I know it was like a harsh tackle, but like Sergio Ramos on Salah was much worse. You know what I mean? Like stuff like
That Sergio Gonzalo was so soft. He barely pulled him solid. I
That's a
hate
Real
when people
Madrid fan, I
talk.
guess. Is it?
Possibly.
I knew it immediately, man. I have Real Madrid friends, and that's how they say all the time.
It's a soft tackle, man. I couldn't believe that he left the game. But whatever, that's a story.
You
for
need to
another
be
day.
careful because
Like, now I'm about to hear it in the chat. Here we go.
Forget
Here we
it.
go. Here comes the chat. Whenever Real Madrid comes up, it's a wrap for me. All right, so prediction time. Miami's at home. I think if Nashville has any chance, obviously, I think they need to win game 1 because if Miami takes game 1, I think it's a wrap. How do you see game 1 ending up? And I will tell you that our goalie, I know Chris is in love with the goalie.
Is the god.
Yeah, he's like 5'8", 5'9". He's played 9 games all year. I really hope that we have like a really cool story to talk about at the end of this run, but I do worry about him. Oh God. So Valair, I ask you.
In my humble opinion, he's better than Ostari. Do you disagree with that? Like, is that not?
I think it's become that. Ustadi was pretty bad. I mean, he started off strong, but man, he's gotten beat near post so often this season. He's getting, and then he started and he beat Drake out because he's so good with his feet, but then he started distributing the ball inaccurately, giving up opportunities. Like that guy fell off so harshly throughout the season. It was really bad.
Yeah. So prediction, right? That's
yeah.
I think he had a good game. Sorry,
He did.
what's his name?
Rocco Blacco.
Yeah. He had a good game. I thought in Nashville.
He did.
He did concede 2 goals, but I don't think either of them were like necessarily his fault.
Mm-hmm.
My prediction, I gave a prediction earlier this week and on our show and on our site. So maybe I'll stick with it. I think it's gonna be Miami 3-1. I think it's gonna play out very similar to how the second leg of the Champions Cup game went. If you remember that, it was in Miami. I think it ended 3-1 as well. Nashville played better. Nashville tried to push Miami as much as possible, but it was just kind of like a foregone conclusion that Miami was going to win it because Nashville missed like their one good chance and then couldn't create anything that was near as good. I think it's going to be similar. I think it's going to be high scoring. Even if it's not 3-1, I think it's going to be high scoring. I can't see this game ending 1-0, 2-0. I just don't really see that. With these two teams with these players on the pitch, it's going to be high scoring. Obviously, that's easy to say after 7 goals last week. I don't know if it's going to be quite like that. But look, truth of the matter is, since Messi came to Miami, Nashville hasn't been able to get anything out of Miami.
Nope.
And they'll play well. They'll play well. And like last week, they played well in the first half. And then it's just kind of, I think, after the Leagues Cup final, which was a draw, and then Miami won in penalties. I think they drew the following 2 games and then lost.
Which is like 2 weeks later. Yeah,
lost every single game after that. So I don't see that changing. I don't see that changing in Miami. Like it's very hard for me to predict something else other than a Miami win. I do think that Miami came close to doing this in Nashville, and that was getting a red card. And I think, whatever you think about that tackle, I think it's like an orange card, honestly, like a yellow, red.
You go studs up, you run the risk always.
Right. So, and a couple of the Miami players, especially in the center back position, have been susceptible to making wrong and, can I say, stupid decisions?
Yeah, absolutely. No, and Toto Aviles is the main guy, but he no longer starts because of it, unfortunately. I think he has all the potential in the world, but they stopped trusting him to start.
I think Falcone has played a good amount of minutes this season. I've watched him a few times.
Yeah.
He's a little reckless at times, I think, as well. I think, there's room to exploit Miami in that way. And I think if that happens, that would shift the numbers tremendously, because I think with a red card, it's going to be hard for Miami to keep the Nashville attackers from, creating more, because there'll be more space. And I think more space will really, really favor Nashville because of a guy you already mentioned, Schaffelberg, who has the speed. He's probably the fastest player on the field, even though technically he might not be there, all the way, but he's still fast and can really create a lot with his speed. So having space would be to his benefit. So 3-1 Miami is my pick. I think that what I said was 2 Miami goals will come in after the 75th minute. Like, I don't think it's going to be like a foregone conclusion to start the match. Miami will just go bang, bang. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game, but at the end, Miami will just kind of show its way. Messi will do something that we probably haven't seen before.
Like last week.
And then Miami gets the win. I think Nashville has a better chance at home, obviously, but for the series as a whole, I see Miami taking this in 2.
Yeah. And Chris, remember that we won the first game last year against Atlanta, and then we dropped the second 2. So, Chris, your prediction. We actually didn't give up a goal.
Can I give you my prediction now while
Yes.
I can be able to get out with my. So since my connection is ass, I'm just going to make my prediction really quickly. With this guy in between the sticks, it's going to be 3-0. It's completely over for Nashville.
0.
Rocco Blocco for president, okay? And that's it. 3-0, clean sheet.
But I think we have 3 or 4 clean sheets all year.
Before you make your prediction, Danny, not many people are allowed to take pictures like this, Danny. They set him up in this glory. Where is he standing? What is he on top of?
That is a pretty,
you know what he's on
that
top
is a pretty
of?
cool picture, though.
He is on top of the world.
That is a pretty cool picture. I can't front. I bet you that's a red Gatorade in his little bucket, though.
That's not, because red Gatorade is the worst Gatorade ever.
Valair, if you had to pick a Gatorade flavor, which one are you picking? Which color? Red, orange?
Yellow, probably, but I hate all
out of red.
Oh, my God.
Sorry.
Yes!
Yes!
Get out, Danny.
Oh, my God. We gotta stop the show right now. I was not expecting you to say that.
Red?
Oh, my God. Everybody, man. Valair, you killed me right there at the end.
Sorry, bro. Sorry. I'm not first in the Gatorade world. I gotta say, I've only had a few.
You know what? I'm not big on it either. My wife bought like a 12-pack, and the red's my favorite. Valair, we appreciate you coming and hang out with us, especially late notice. Please let everybody know where they can find you if they want to hear more about Nashville.
Yeah, 615 Soccer. you can find us at 615soccer.com. You can spell it out. Go in there. We have a show called Pharmaceutical Soccer. That's our podcast. It's a stupid name, but it's a really good show. We've been doing it for 7 years now. So tune in if you like Nashville stuff. And then for me personally, at Valair Shabila, if you don't know how to spell it, do your best and look for the bald man with the beard. I'll pop up. I cover mostly Nashville, but I do some MLS stuff and some other stuff outside of MLS as well. So, yeah, follow me on Twitter or Blue Sky or Instagram. Not Facebook. I don't do that. And then, yeah, go to 615soccer.com. It's me and my buddy Ben Wright, who covers MLS as well. So, yeah, we do a lot of work there, and there's a bunch of other writers and stuff like that.
We're gonna have to have you on our MLS
I don't know
show.
if it's.
We'd love to have you on there.
I don't know if it's fair for me to say this, Valair, but you, just as a generic bald, big beard guy, you look like Messi's bodyguard.
Oh,
I've heard it before.
Is that your twin brother?
Distant cousin. Yeah.
You could pass for him if you were to come to Miami.
Yeah.
100% people might confuse you from.
I think the body will give it away, guys. You haven't seen me stand up.
Well, fair. That's fair. All right. Again, Valair, appreciate you very much hanging out with us. And I usually say the best of luck, but absolutely not. I hope you guys get your ass kicked on Friday.
That's fair, man. Hey, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Chris, any final words?
Did you know that chewing gum is pink because the creator of chewing gum only had pink dye when he invented chewing gum? That's why it's pink.
Interesting.
If he would have had blue dye, then chewing gum would be blue.
But not all chewing gum is pink.
I mean, when you think of chewing gum, you automatically think pink.
You're right, yeah.
No?
But it is not all pink, but yes, you're right.
Bubble Bubble? That's pink.
Yeah,
That's like OG chewing gum.
Hubba Bubba. Yeah,
Hubba
you're right.
Bubba.
Yeah, you're right.
What was with that? Hubba Bubba, Double Bubble? I mean, like, these people couldn't be more creative.
And shout out to Solana in the chat.
Get over it. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
If
Get out of
anybody
here.
is a Miami Heat fan, Solana and I, right before I got on here, we actually did a post game for the Miami Heat
I feel bad
first game
for
of the
you.
season. Yeah. So we went ahead
Awful.
and we talked about that first game. So make sure that you tune in to Battered Heat fans tomorrow. The episode is dropping. And yes, two dudes playing basketball. You know what, Solana? Unlike a lot of other people that do soccer shows, we're versatile. We talk about more things than just football. We are also fans of other sports. And then we talk about Gatorade, about Hubba Bubba. So,
and we just gave you a fact about chewing gum. Like, where the fuck are you getting that?
right. So if Pedri Pod or anybody else wants a soccer only show where we only wear soccer things and we don't go off on tangents about Gatorade, I'm sure that there's plenty of other ones. If you want a better show, you'll stick around here where we talk about and wear other things. Chris, I know you already gave me your final words because, well, your internet sucks. If you want Battered Heat fans tomorrow morning, check out the show. We're talking about the first game. And that's it. We will be back on Friday night for the post game. So if you're listening on audio, 5 stars, comment, please. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. And for those in the chat, as always, you guys are awesome. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us for the last 40 minutes, especially on such a late show. It's almost midnight. So we appreciate all you guys.
Yes.
And we'll be back on Friday night. So until the next one, have a good one.